YouTube. Introduce yourself.
I'm Brian Rayos.
And what'd you just do?
I just got top 16 at YCS Dallas.
With?
Trickstar.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it Spiral?
No Spiral here.
So the biggest thing is, and I asked this to Ed and the other Trickstar player, why did you decide on this deck?
So I played Trickstar because I wasn't really set on Spiral. I thought that it was really fragile. Like if you get hand trapped in Spiral, you put yourself on like, man, I need to have a hand trap to stop my opponent or else they're gonna go off. And I wanted to play a deck that I could fit a lot of hand traps in. And I found that Trickstar was the best deck that I could fit all the hand traps I wanted to play and still hurt Spiral when they surge, whenever they activate their stuff. But yeah, I really like Spiral. I'm in Trickstar. I thought it was the right choice.
I was gonna say you really like Spiral playing with this guy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, go right.
All right. So first off, I made 3 Gofu. I've seen people not playing Gofu in Trickstar. This was like one of the MVPs. If I drew this and Candy, I don't even know their names, the Stratos, it was usually game. But Gofu was like the MVP. It's super good. So I played 3 Gofu, 3 of the Candina, the Stratos, 3 Licorice, and then 1 Lilybell. I once said that I would never play this card in my deck, and it was really good. I won a few games off of this card this weekend. So
okay, so none of the new Trickstars that came out.
There was one that came out.
break.
It's like you take 200 every time your opponent activates a monster effect in your hand or grave. But I felt like it wasn't that good, and then with all the cards I already wanted to main, I couldn't find space for those cards either. But I was happy with this ratio right here.
Makes sense.
So that's it for like the regular monsters, and now for the hand traps. This is what made the deck. This is how I won. So I played 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Cherries, 3 Droll Lock, and then the God card Maxi.
13.
13 hand traps. So Ash was really good, but I actually didn't draw this that much this weekend. The MVP was Ogre. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this card, but if you Ogre Helix, then they just have to search, and a lot of the times, they're not playing around Ogre because a lot of people aren't playing this card. But this card's just so good. You can hit Resort, and you can just hit problem cards. Cherries was really good. I mean, if you draw it, it stops them, but a lot of times they're just ending with Borreload now. And the thing that this deck still struggles with is getting over like boss monsters. So it's alright, but it definitely won me a few games. Droll Lock, I never Trickstar until top 16. I never reincarnation Drolled them. But
not the entire Swiss run?
No, not in Swiss. It was just once in top 16. But I feel like you're not supposed to reincarnation Droll them because I feel like you're playing it wrong at that point because they're playing around the reincarnation by setting their stuff. Mm-hmm. So at the point where they do search, they've already let like the cards that they don't mind if it get banished in their hand, and they've already set like their machine dupes or 1-for-1.
Yeah, it was a lot better before people actually knew what it did.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you have to play the way you play this now is like a stall deck, and what you have to just you have to stop them from doing their plays, and then you just do some damage from attacking. And then Maxi, obviously, I think I drew this like twice the entire tournament, but it's Maxi.
It's Maxi.
Yeah. So and then last monster I just played 2. I don't consider this a hand trap. I hear people call this a hand trap. I mean, it's honest. It was really good. It won me like 3 games this weekend, but
because not a lot of people play honest in this deck.
I actually wasn't gonna play honest, but like midnight before on Friday night at midnight before the tournament, my friend's like, "Hey, play honest," and I said, "All right, why not?"
Did you consider playing 3 of them?
So I was at 39 cards, and I was looking for what was my last card gonna be, and so I was in between 1 evenly matched in the main deck or 1 or 2 honests, and I thought that evenly matched is like a really subpar card, but I'll get to that. But I was never considering 3. I don't want to open multiples of this, and I honestly don't really want to open this at all. It's like if I draw this, fine, but I don't really want to draw this.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
You honestly didn't want to open it at all.
But I was happy with this card, and I'm glad I played 2. This was actually 40 and 40 for 1. I played 41 cards.
Okay.
But honest was pretty good. So that's it for the monsters. Spells, 3 of the field spell and 3 terraformings to search it. I thought about playing set rotation just because that card's really good, but I feel like Ravine doesn't do enough in this deck to like warrant playing it. So I was happy with this. 3 of like some of the best spells, 3 cosmics. Shout out to Ed right here. He's the one that told me to play 3 cosmics. I feel like if you hit resort, a lot of the time it's enough. I found that I cosmic the resort a lot of times, and they just ended their turn because I hit that. Or a lot of the times, especially in top 32, I hit the big red, and they just passed because they had nothing else. So 3 cosmics was very good. I played 2 desires. I was playing 3, but a lot of the times, like I was seeing multiples. I don't know. It's very good if you draw this card because if you draw this, you can play around Droll Lock. Because if you activate this and you're playing around Droll Lock, you're guaranteed to get 2 cards. Rather, if I were to activate the field spell and search, and then I get Droll Lock there. So, but I was happy with just 2. I drew quite a few. And then like the 2 best spells were Dark Hole Raigeki. I wasn't playing board wipes, but my boy Caesar right here, He told me to play him, and I was really happy. Like, they won me a lot of games because Trickstar inherently struggles getting over big monsters, and thankfully I was drawing these cards, and so I was able to out like Borload, Sleepers, and stuff like that. So Dark One Raigeki is very good. Lastly, just 3 traps, just the 3 reincarnations. I mean, standard, but I didn't play any traps. I didn't play cards like Scapegoat or anything like that because I feel that's like the incorrect way to play the deck right now. Right now, what you're going to see is a lot of Spiral, as we can see, like 29 out of 32 and top 32 is Spiral. And if you draw cards like Scapegoat, Chain Summoning, and stuff like that, if you're going second, it's not enough, because if you set Scapegoat, you're just going to get, they can pop it or during their end phase with Sleeper, or they can just, there's just too much where I just felt like Scapegoat wasn't warranted to play. That's why I chose to play hand traps over cards like Scapegoat and Chain Summoning.
Do you think that really mattered in terms of why you, out of all rogue players, got top 32? I mean, there's only 3 rogue players in the top 32, only 3 non-spirals. Do you think that those sort of deck building decisions made a really big impact?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like, the other person, one of the other 3 in top 32 was Ed right here, and we both played like a similar amount of hand traps in our deck. I know he played a few more. But I definitely think that this is the way to play Trickstar. I talked to a lot of Trickstar players during the event, but they were still set on like, okay, I have to burn them to death, and that's my win condition. But I feel the win conditioning is it's like the deck doesn't have a win condition. The deck is just activate hand trap, they stop, and now I get to play. And if you can stop your opponent from playing, then you're gonna win. Because they're going to get burned, and you're just putting too much pressure on them at that point.
You're just bringing them down to what your deck can, like, basically deal with, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for the main deck. I played 41.
41.
41, yeah. So extra deck, the extra deck is actually pretty important because of Gofu. Like, other than Gofu, it's not that great. So I played 1 Decode, I never summoned this. Proxy, I never summoned this, but I thought it would come up with just multiple Gofus. The MVPs right here, though, were 2 Link Spiders and Misses. So the combos are, if you draw Gofu, and if you draw like the Field Spell, or you draw the Stratos, or even sometimes you just draw the red one, the Licorice, you summon Gofu, you summon Link Spider with the 2 tokens, you make Misses, and then if you have Reincarnation, you make Omega, so you can activate Reincarnation during the standby phase, banish their hand if they don't have Ash, then you banish Reincarnation, you summon the Licorice again, and then you return the Reincarnation to the graveyard with the Omega.
Oh,
and then yeah, it was really
That's
good.
really good. Yeah.
Did you get that combo off pretty consistently?
Yeah, I did that in top. No, actually, I did that 3 times during the event. Did it in top 16 right now, and it was enough. But it was very good. And then the other level I played was Beals. A lot of decks, they just don't have outs to this. A lot of the times, if you can summon this against Spiral and you have 1 hand trap, like an Ogre, an Ash, or a Droll, then they can't get to the point where they can Borload and get over this.
Yep.
So if you have an Ogre or any hand trap, then this sometimes is the right call.
Did you play against any Draco that was good against?
I didn't play against any Draco. My matchups were 1 Paleo. My only loss day 1 was Infernoid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that guy was super sacky. He just Void Banishment for each time and sent like 10 cards to the grave, sent 3 Intis, and just broke my board. So I lost to that. But then I played 3 Spiral day 1. I beat all of them. And then I played a Dark Magician that was super easy, Chain Burn, and and something else. And then day 2, I played against Spiral. I 2-0'd that. And then last round of Swiss, I lost to Spiral 2-1. So I played 5 Spiral in total, not counting top 32. And then the last Synchro I played that I actually summoned was Vermilion, because you can do this with the Candina, and then so you can banish like Ash or Ogre, and if this gets destroyed, you just get that hand trap back. So it's very good. Vermilion came up like 3 games, and it won me some games. It was really good. I played Ancient Fairy. I never summoned this, but in top 32 I won because I cherries the guy's Ancient Fairy. He summoned Coral Dragon. I knew he was trying to summon Ancient Fairy, and once I cherried him, he was pretty much forced to stop, and that let me win the next turn.
That's gross.
So it was just, I guess, essentially just a cherry target. The Trickstar Link, this is the only one I played. I didn't play any of the new ones. I didn't feel like they were good enough, and it won me like 3 games. I didn't summon it that often, but when I did summon it, it was me pushing for game, and it did get me there. So that's it for the links, and then for the XYZs, I just played Baguska. In testing, this came up. It never came up during the tournament. I cherried it against Infernoid. He just summoned Minerva, and he milled 2 of the 3 Raiden in his 48 card deck, and I lost.
Oh,
so that was the only rank 4. Rank 3s, I played 1 Acid Golem and 1 Nightmare Shark. I played Acid Golem because it out Sleeper, like you just attack over it, but I never summoned this. I summoned Nightmare Shark once, and it was just round 1 against Paleo to bait out the guy's back row, and it worked, and then I just beat him. So I summoned this once, but yeah, these cards are not very important. And the last 2 cards was 1 Buster and 1 Helix for the cherry targets. I played against no ABC, so this was dead, but I cherried a lot of Helix. But yeah, that's the extra deck, and lastly the side deck. the Gofu tokens, summoning these all day. I played 3 system down. Oh, that's the last day I played when I played Cosmo. And God, that deck is hard to beat with this deck. But I sided these in. I didn't draw them, so these cards were dead the whole tournament. But I'm happy I sided this. I sided 3 evenly matched. I'd never sided this against Spiral. I don't think it's good against Spiral because if you activate and resolve this, they're still gonna stay with like their sleeper, their firewall, their Baguska or something. And I usually can't get over those boss monsters with this deck because all my monsters are small. So I didn't want to leave them with like a big monster that I just can't get it. So I didn't think this was good enough against Spiral. But against decks like Paleo, just like road decks against Cosmo, I felt that this card was really good. But I think this card is just like really hit or miss. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not too sure on this card. And then if you get set rotation, this card's dead. So it's really not that good. But I mean, it was alright. It won me 1 game against Paleo, but that's it. I side 3 strikes and warning. These were really good. I put these whenever I go first. Against Spiral, I win a few games for these. Just standard start going first. 1 Imperial Order, just another one going first. I like these last 2 cards. I wasn't really sure, so I just played 1 bottomless and 1 unending. These were actually 2 unendings, but I was like, wait a minute, I could just play bottomless, and bottomless is really good. And I haven't played this card in like a year, and I was siding it in, but I never drew it. But I would still side this just because this card's cool. This I never sided this in. I'd probably just take this out for a 3rd one of the best card in my side deck. 2 MSCs.
Okay, so you have to talk about this.
All right, so I was at 13 cards in my side deck midnight when we were building the deck, and I told my friends like, what should I just side? He said just side MST, so I sided MST, and I felt like, what matchups is this going to be good against? I knew it would be good against Paleo if I played that, but I didn't expect to play it. But I mean, it came up, and I thought, but what I found out so I just played this just for fun, pretty much. But I found out during the tournament, this card against Spiral is nuts because you can just so the way they do is that if they know you have the Trickstar trap, they'll start setting their cards and to play around the trap. So they're setting their power cards. They're setting 1-for-1s. They're setting machine dupes, sometimes double summons. And so it happened round 9 against Justin Singh. He set 3 back row, but I had MST Cosmic set, and I Cosmic his 1-for-1, and I MST his machine dupe. And his last thing was Raigeki, and he had nothing else, so I gamed them next turn. This card is so good. It's just if you draw this in combination with a Cosmic, that's 2 field spells they get out, so they're losing 2 cards out of their hand, and they can't search the combo pieces they need. This card was the best card in my side deck. I sided this in pretty much against everything. It was really good, and this should be a 3rd MSC. I think everybody should play. This card's just so good because if they know how to play against Trickstar, they're gonna set their stuff. So you want to have these going first to destroy their power cards. But yeah, this was definitely the best card in my side deck, and I'm really happy I played this.
Awesome.
But yeah, that was it. I'm really happy I played. I was up until the night before. I was gonna play Spiral, but I really wasn't comfortable with the deck. I had forgotten how to do all the combos at that point, and I had a gut feeling about Spiral. About Trickstar, and so I just decided to play. I've actually never played Trickstar in an event before. And not even at a locals or anything. I picked up all this stuff Saturday morning, and yeah, I'm really happy. I actually, just a very quick story. Saturday morning when I was buying cards that I needed for this deck, I lost my wallet and all my cash was in there. I had like a couple $100 cash, my IDs, my credit cards and everything. And we flew out from Los Angeles, so I wasn't sure I was gonna get back. So I started off that day like a little hurt, because I mean my wallet's gone, right? But thankfully, like before the tournament started, I hear my name getting called and my wallet was turned in with everything still intact. My ID, my money, my cards, everything was still in there. So kind of when that happened, I pretty much knew like this was my event to top, and this was actually my first top.
Nice.
And I just felt like the luck was on my side at that point, and thankfully it was, and I made it to top 16, almost made it to top 8. Just a few plays that I probably should have done different, but I'm really happy with the way the deck turned out. I think the deck is perfect. Of anything that I might like want to find room for is Eater of Millions, just because it outset rotation because you can banish it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the main deck is like perfect. I think you need to play those 13 hand traps because Spiral is a really tough deck. You're gonna see a lot of Spiral and Swiss, and if you draw those hand traps like I was doing again, and you're usually gonna draw 2 with 13 hand traps. If you draw hand traps against Spiral, they're done. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think the main deck's perfect, and MSC MVP.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for the deck profile.
Yeah, thank you,
Congratulations,
guys.
you were the farthest player who wasn't playing Spiral
Oh, yeah.
to make it. So,
All right, thank you guys.